What is up, YouTube? It is Greg from Team Hybrid BMX, chilling back in the office lounge area of my home, and about to get into this real quick with you. Here are quite a few reasons why you don't need to buy a brand new BMX bike. Okay, I was thinking about it the other day. You know, I watched, not to hate on him, but I was watching BMX News Channel. And he's talking about all these new parts and stuff, and he was telling people that, like, you don't want this on a bike and you don't want that on a bike, but I have to disagree, and here's why. I grew up in an era of BMX where I wouldn't say that we were plateauing, okay? I would say that they knew how to build bikes so that they were practically indestructible. They were heavy, okay? Mind you, my DK six-pack, when I bought it, and I bought it back in 2000, and that would have been 2004, 2005 when I bought my DK six pack, my first, intermediate level BMX bike. The first bike I owned, it had sealed bearing hubs. The cranks were not sealed, which drove me nuts later on. So he did have some valid points with that. You guys definitely want to invest in sealed products. But this is my point. Where you live, okay, don't just think about your little town, okay? Go on Craigslist. Try your town first. If you're a young kid, I know it's hard to travel around. So your first goal is to go to your town's Craigslist, okay? If you got some money, you've saved up some money for a bike, I strongly suggest, especially if you want to build a custom bike, I strongly suggest go to Craigslist first to buy your first complete. And I mean that seriously, because if you're planning on building a custom bike, you want that first investment, right? You want a decent BMX bike that's gonna get you through until you can afford something nicer, okay? Or you can afford that nicer part that you've been looking at. Like, for instance, everybody knows now, I bought that Gap XL that's down in my basement right now. I bought that bike for $50. At first, it was on Facebook, and that's the other place you can look too. A lot of times, guys will put it on for sale sites. I follow BMX used parts sites, all kinds of stuff. And it's actually something else I'm going to get into, but I want to finish this first. And then I'm going to give you guys another video. So here's what it is. Go on either Craigslist, Facebook, type in used BMX bikes near your area. Okay, so for instance, for me, it would be BMX bikes, Erie, Pennsylvania, or bicycles, because sometimes people don't know what they have. Okay, a lot of times people don't know what they have. I went on, and this is what I did. And then if you can't find anything in your area or it's out of your price range yet, like for instance, I found my bike for a steal. My buddy Rob found his bike for a steal. He found, his bikes for a steal. Those two bikes, he got those for $100. The guy was originally asking $150. Usually when people are selling somewhere in between the 2 to 3, or let's say the 150 to 300 range, they're trying to get rid of the bike. They don't want it anymore because they're either in college, or they're starting a family, or they can't afford to. One post, the guy was just completely honest. He said, I can't afford to get hurt. I've got a nice job and I can't afford the insurance if I get hurt. So he's selling this really nice bike, 21 and a quarter inch top tube for taller riders, okay? Really nice bike. Selling it for $280. And I guarantee you I could talk him down to at least 210. At least that much, if not more. Because he's wanting to get out. He's wanting to get out. He doesn't need the bike anymore. It's sitting, it's collecting dust. He could really use the revenue off of it. That's the other thing you want to look for too, guys. Look for people who seem, and this sounds horrible, but it's the truth. Look for people who seem desperate. They need the cash to pay for books for college. They need the money because something broke on their car. They need the money because they have to pay rent and they're struggling. You know how many things I sold when I was a young adult, just getting out and into the world, and I had an apartment. I sold guitars that I had. I sold all kinds of stuff for way cheaper than I ever bought it for. Your used market is always going to be better. Even per example, okay, car dealerships. Yes, they have a pretty new car on the lot, But does anyone ask any car salesman? I know I have 2 in my family, okay? Ask any car salesman. They sell way more used cars than they've ever sold a new car. Why is that? Because nobody can afford, the average Joe, especially nowadays, can't afford a brand new car. Well, if you're 15, 16 years old and you don't have much of a job, or you have a part-time job, or you go and shovel snow, or you go and mow people's lawns during the summertime, or you have some little tiny job that you do during the summertime that makes you some extra money. You don't have a whole lot of money, right? You're trying to invest in other things. And that's the other thing that I encourage, guys. The big thing about the encouragement on this channel as well is for you guys to grow, okay? I want you to grow not only through your riding and through what you do, but in your personal life. I want you to grow. I want you to be able to make things happen for yourself through BMX. Have BMX be your motivator. The things that you're passionate about in life are the things that are going to push you the farthest. And that's what I've learned. I have come leaps and bounds from where I was. Don't let things pull you down. Try to stay on top. Stay on the ball. Okay? Now here's the deal with the BMX thing. Yes, your bike might be a little bit heavier than your buddy's bike that mommy and daddy bought for him. That's got the brand new 25.9 and integrated this and sealed that and the other thing and this, that, and the other thing. I watched a buddy of mine, because I was the kid who got lucky. I had saved up some money. I had about $150, and my stepfather was really awesome with me, and he invested when I was 14. I had $150 to work with. I was planning on buying a DK General Lee, and all I needed was another $50 to buy this General Lee. We went into the local bike shop, and my stepfather got a sales associate over, and this is where I learned some stuff too. Learned how to get a good bargain, learned how to buy the correct products. Because that's what my stepfather always did. He was a great guy about looking for quality, not afraid to pay a little bit more for something that's going to last a little bit longer. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with buying new if you buy it correctly. Okay? You don't want to go spend $200 on a bike that's going to fall apart on you like that. And then you don't have any money to fix your parts and you're left sitting there, right? All your buddies are having fun. It's like, oh, dude, can I borrow your bike? No. Okay? You want to be the kid that's always, oh yeah, man, hey, check out this new part I got. I would rather see you be that kid to do a bike check with me and show me, yo, Greg, check it out. I just got this new sprocket. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. That's the kind of stuff, even if it's a used product, especially if it's a used product, because I love it when people get good deals on stuff that is good quality, even though it's old. Don't let anyone tell you that just because it's an old thing, it does not run good. That is bull. Because if you look at going back to cars again, see, I love using cars as a reference point because they're great. If you look at cars from the 70s and the 60s and 70s, they built them out of really heavy sheet metal. Now they build them out of what? They build them, well, actually, they built them out of steel back then. Now they build them out of sheet metal. Cheap aluminum or sheet metal. That's what they build them out of. Or plastic. And what happens when they get in a wreck? Crunch. The car has to go to the insurance company and it either gets totaled or it costs a ton of money to get it fixed. So, whereas if you ran into somebody back in the day, it was, oh, whatever, and you went on your way. So, it's the same thing with BMX bikes. The more money that you have to invest in something that's new, you're not really saving yourself any. Especially with the way they're building products now. They're building products to push them now. That's my personal belief. I have seen many a new BMX bike. Those pivotal seats, the plastic pivotal seats, drive me nuts. Because they're junk. I'm sorry, but like the companies, like I'm like, what's your deal? You got this stupid little Allen key that holds the seat down? You know that doesn't work. We know that doesn't work. We've been dealing with that for years now. So here's my point though, guys, is go out there, look at Craigslist in your area. If you have a car or your parents are willing to drive you a little bit farther, look at the bigger cities around you or the bigger areas around you on Craigslist. Find your best deal. Contact the seller. See if they're willing to meet you on price, especially if you have to travel. If you have to travel, get that price back. All right? So that's my words of advice for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Wonderful day. I know I'm going to. I got to head to work here in about 20 minutes. So you guys have a great day. I'll catch you next time on Team Hybrid BMX. Deuce!